So, I went to see Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, and I thought I'd do a review on it, and I thought it was fine. Spoilers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Tom Cruise, and I'm always looking forward to seeing what he does with the franchise. And I'm always looking forward to seeing him how he's going to say fuck you to the Grim Reaper. I mean, there is a reason why we need to commend him as being as one of the last movie stars that we have coming out of Hollywood nowadays. He puts himself in these death-defying scenarios, all for the sake of our entertainment, all for the sake of us just having a good time at the movies. And with Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, he does that for sure.
But
Plot, 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 plot. The plot. Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning is the 8th and supposed final installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, which started off in 1996. Whilst also being a direct sequel to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one, but you know. Anyways, moving on, Tom Cruise is back as the IMF agent Ethan Hunt, and he and his motley crew need to come up with a way of stopping the end of the world against this artificial intelligence known as
the entity.
and some other guys. Sounds simple enough, right?
I wish that was so.
You see, the plot has been described by so many people as long-winded, convoluted, bloated, and I'm so sorry to say that I agree with so much of that. In the first hour, I was like, when are we going to start moving? When are we going to start kicking some ass? When is Simon Pegg going to start doing that confused face that he does in every single film? Eventually, we do get to that after an hour of mind-boggling exposition, which is what the first movie was supposed to do. New characters, old characters, tying up loose ends to previous films in the franchise, whilst also doing a strange propaganda for how heroic Ethan Hunt is. We know, we've been here since 1996. But as soon as that stuff is out of the way, Tom Cruise finally kicks into gear and the movie really starts. He jumps out of the back of that plane, he goes into the submarine, he does more talky, but then he finally goes into that mission in the submarine to infiltrate
The entity.
the house. Although this is not my favourite stunt sequence that Cruise has ever done, I felt the suspense, I felt the danger. Director Christopher McQuarrie and Cruise clearly know how to up the stakes in these movies. I can imagine Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie just having phone calls with each other.
Oh, great, Chris. Yeah, I think it'd be awesome if the submarine is gonna do a roly-poly.
Oh my god, that's amazing! And maybe your swimsuit can get caught on something, and then you're gonna have to tear it off, and then become naked, and then you're gonna have to swim to the surface, naked! Naked!
Naked? You sure?
Yeah. Naked. Jokes aside, this sequence is fantastic. It reminded me of the corridor sequence in Inception, but this time underwater. And it just reminds you of the consistency of these movies with his action scenes, the planning, the rehearsal, the execution, the camera angles, everything. They always push the ante. And after more plot exposition and more talky, shooting, we finally get to the poster moment. Tom Cruise in a biplane chase. Now, according to Cruise, this sequence has been in the planning for years. This was supposed to be the biggest stunt of Tom Cruise's career, a culmination of everything that he has done for us through Top Gun Maverick, the Mission Impossible movies, maybe that one mummy movie that didn't go anywhere, Jack Reacher, Rain Man, Tropic Thunder, Rock of Ages, Cocktail. Everything has led to this. And boy oh boy, this sequence is fucking awesome. I just couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Every time they kept cutting back to the other characters and seeing what everybody else is doing, I couldn't give a shit, mate. I just wanted to see Tom Cruise hanging off a biplane, trying to get the detonator off of the other guy's necklace, his name's Gabriel, and finally seeing, is Ethan Hunt going to die? Is this how he goes?
But
In the back of my mind, I couldn't help the feeling that this is a bit too similar to Mission Impossible Fallout, where in the finale, Tom Cruise is in pursuit of Henry Cavill in a helicopter, whilst Henry Cavill is in a helicopter with a detonator to a nuclear bomb.
That's just lazy writing.
I'm not going to pretend that this distracted me just a little bit, especially when it cuts to Ethan's team defusing another bomb, whilst attempting to catch the entity in some Temu looking USB stick. But the sequence itself felt exhilarating and unpredictable enough to pull me back in, and if this is the final movie in the franchise, then damn, what a way to end it.
Characters, actors, people.
It's incredible to see how far Tom Cruise has come in his career, and his enthusiasm for the film industry is just infectious. His movie star persona just shines on the screen, and it's no different in this movie. Though he might be let down by some weak writing, it doesn't tarnish his dedication to the role as Ethan Hunt. Also, the man is 63 years old. What is his skincare routine? It's ridiculous! Hayley Atwell returns as the quick-handed Grace from Dead Reckoning. It felt like she had a lot more to do in the last movie, but in this, she's fine? A little bit on airplane mode for this one. Simon Pegg is back as Benji, the recurring tech nerd since 2006's Mission Impossible 3. He's great. Pegg is always great. What can I say? He's great. Some might even say, perfect. Ving Rhames reprises his role as Luther, the only other character to be in all the movies of this franchise, only to meet his demise in a short emotional scene with Ethan before he goes, boom, 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 boom. And yet, his short time on screen did tug at my heartstrings a little bit, and it was nice to say goodbye to that beloved character. Goodbye! Pom Clementif reprises her role from Dead Reckoning as Paris, the French assassin. She's good, she kicks ass, she has a nice little relationship going on with Simon Pegg.
Romance, possibly.
And we have S.A. Morales, who was the main antagonist of the last movie, as Gabriel. But I'm sorry to say, I didn't like him in the last film, and I definitely don't like him in this one. And it's got nothing to do with the actor at all, it's just the script. It's just what they decided to do with him. And that was pretty much nothing, considering he was pretty much the main foil in the last film. But obviously they want to try and make the entity the big bad. But I do have to say, his death scene is pretty hilarious.
Hit my head.
Additionally, we do have a smattering amount of other side characters. So we have the return of Angela Bassett, Henry Krasinski, that guy, Nick Offerman, Ted Lasso's Hannah Waddingham, Tramell Tillman, Holt McCallney, Charles Parnell, Mark Gatiss, Greg Tarzan Davis, and Rolf Saxon, who reprises his role from Mission Impossible 1, surprisingly. All of whom give a fantastic job with their performances, even though the script is really clunky. Summary, conclusion. Overall, I thought Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning was okay. I had a good time in the end, but I wish I didn't have to say that. But it is what it is. I compare this experience to watching the final season of Game of Thrones. It wasn't as bad as that. Just having that feeling of being deflated and left expecting a better payoff. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dead Reckoning Part 1, though I did enjoy it, but I was hoping that it would come full circle with the Final Reckoning. But instead we get an overstuffed script with a lack of grittiness that we saw in Mission Impossible 3 and Mission Impossible Fallout, which are my two favourite ones in the franchise. Despite that, you do feel the stakes are high in this movie, but it takes such a long time to address them. But, like I said, once Act 2 begins, I settle down and enjoy the ride. Because we can clearly see there's so much passion on the screen from Cruise and Macquarie in the action scenes. I really hope this isn't the end for Ethan Hunt. But because of the time of this recording, The Final Reckoning has been out for a couple weeks now, and doesn't seem to be breaking even with its $400 million budget, which is a shame. Because if they could make one more, they would make it better. And I respect how hard it is to make a movie. So if this is the end, thank you Mr. Cruise for putting your all into this franchise. I am the Beanie Critic, and cheers for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.